With the last of the energy you can muster, you finally leave the 40-mile-wide sandbar that separated you from Ogre's death. It is as if you've passed. In front of you, an enormous massive towers into the sky, the Blue Range. The slopes cast long shadows over Ogre's Death Fortress. The anticipation of entering a real dwarven city for the first time grows with every step.
My High King, you have called me to succeed you to the throne. Here I stand before you.
Well... Before you are chosen as the successor to the High King, hear, King Gandagar, the challenges that await you. Hordes of orcs are rampaging through the north and the west, and the perished land is stirring. It would seem that the Magi cannot sustain the barriers.
This gives us an excellent opportunity to attack the last elves in Alandor. They are weakened. The perished land afflicts them. Let us wipe out the traitors once and for all.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Hear, hear.
Madness. What are you talking about?
I do not recognize you, King Gandagar, in what you are saying. The elves are inhabitants of Girdlegard. Has your hatred for them clouded your senses to the point that you wish to ignore the words of our god?
Belendalin's gaze falls, as if incidentally.
Or is someone giving you bad advice?
On the contrary, it was Bislipper who finally supplied me with the proof. A report titled How the Fiflings Lost the Gate. It was the elves that poisoned the brave Fifling warriors in their stronghold. A devious disease spread by the pointy ears and the...
Impossible! I always knew it! Treason!
I don't believe
They should
that.
pay for it!
Get to the pointy ears!
Enough! Don't be so short-sighted! We are talking about the safety of Girdlegard. We must reach out and forge a large coalition with the elves. Yes?
My High King! You cannot be serious!
Drivel from a dwarf who has grown too old in his post. Are we not here to choose a new High King?
It would seem you will have to wait a little bit longer. The second aspirant has arrived. Our guests must be tired from their long journey. The meeting is adjourned till tomorrow.
But why do you think that I...
Everything will become clear. I've had a room prepared for you. Before you take to your...
Ah, you're hot.
Heir apparent?
A slight expression of guilt flits briefly across Boindill's face, but he's soon back to his old self. Bowendahl nods in agreement.
As High King, you could unite the kingdoms.
I can't be High King. I got all my knowledge from books and you're...
Just talk to High King Gundrabur.
High King Gundrabur?
Old? He is ancient, even by Dwarvish standards. Belendalin has taken care of most matters for dozens of cycles. But Gundrabur always has the final word. Belendalin should become High King. I was there when a runt took his arm. He still managed to kill half a dozen of them afterwards. What The law requires that a firstling or a fourthling must be chosen.
For the first time, you have the chance to appreciate the beauty of the place. You suddenly forget what you wanted to say.
I've never seen such...
Ha ha ha! The secondlings are the best masons of all the kingdoms. That's how Fracas made us. Well, he made some of us.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we will finally...
Andakai, what is it?
I came to return these books to you, Tungdil. Luckily, I was able to make sense of most of it.
You observed how the Mager took time to study the books during your escape.
They are records from the Outer Lands. They tell of demonic beings from barren ground who can take possession.
Immortality, for example?
The Mager...
They speak of an axe forged by the Undergrounders called Keenfire. It is said to have the power to cut through the flesh.
So you think a demon from the Outer Lands...
He looked very different when I encountered him in Parista, and he rose from the dead even though you cut off...
And he wanted to prevent these books from falling into our hands. That would only make sense if... Where is this key?
I don't know if this weapon was ever forged. It requires rare materials and masterful craftsmanship. The purest, hardest steel, stone barbs decorated with runes, a hilt of sig...
We are dwarves, we have the most...
And you have the Sigurdaisy wood. It is amongst the objects in your rucksack, which is fortunate as there are no more Sigurdaisies in Girdlegard. But even if you...
Do you know these underground...
I have never heard of the Undergrounders, but I've been to the Outer Lands before.
It must be terrible. The hordes of Tion have marched...
It's not as bad as you think. It is certainly safer than a land...
We can get all the missing materials, as well as a gem cutter, here, in the stronghold. After all, Gandagar and his...
The Mager looks...
You still want to leave Girdlegard, but what will happen to your...
I admire your optimism, my friend, but it isn't wise to stand in the way of a rolling stone.
But...
You don't want to let the last Mager in Girdlegard go. Unfortunately, you...
A variety of cheeses, pickled cave mushrooms, toasted vault moss, and some...
You are exhausted from your adventurous journey.
Goren found an answer to the threat. Keenfire. No matter how... Andikai deciphered what was written in the books that Goren wanted to send to Turga the Fairfaced. They tell of a demonic threat from the Nudin.
Undergrounders?
You shrug your shoulders.
Maybe there are dwarves in the Outlands too. Either...
If it's got anything to do with magic, the weapon...
Nudin fears the books. I believe that... I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost.
Tungdil, come closer.
The power that the old High King radiated when he called the assembly to order has drained away from him. His body is sunken in the throne, but his eyes are alert and interested as he looks at you.
The lost son returns to his people. Thank Vrak.
You describe your adventure down to the smallest detail. Neither the king nor his advisor interrupts you. When you are finished with your story,
What game is being...
Gandagar, as king of the Fourthlings, is to supersede me as High King. But his mind... I was hoping for a great coalition with the elves, and even with the Thirdlings.
And which role...
Well, with you as a second aspirant, certain
I don't want to appear ungrateful, and I'm happy to finally be among my people, but I will not ascend the throne. I hardly know anything about our customs and law.
Your renouncement honors you. But to be honest, you never had a claim. To stop Gandagar, we had to stall for time.
Lot Yonan helped us with our little story. We don't even know if you are a fourth.
you feel as though you've been hit in the stomach. If this is true, not only have you lost your newly found kingdom,
Your plan has a flaw. Even if I were...
You don't have to win.
Belendalin points to the Steelies in the throne room.
It's written in our laws that the High King can oppose an heir if he isn't elected unanimously. He can then demand a...
Such a contest could take weeks, if not...
What kind of contest will you have us compete in?
Everyone in the council will write a task on a piece of paper, and from there...
And this only once you have made a speech, and have won over as many as possible in the council to your side. The more sympathetic the council is...
Is this really the best for our people? If you cannot dissuade Gandagar from...
Don't worry. We'll open up his eyes and he will recognize the malice of his feigned friend.
All right then. I'm ready to do it.
You can be certain of it, Tungdil.
Belendalin smiles at you encouragingly.
You say Andakai may have found a way to defeat Nodon, and she suspects that...
Why is Gandagar...
His father and brother were murdered by elves.
No one knows the truth. Just as no one knows how true this report about the Fifthlings is. But isn't it strange that this letter has turned up now? I have commissioned armor that is worthy of...
You say goodbye with a queasy feeling in your stomach. You always thought that you were articulate. You skim over the ornate runes and look for the passage that...
If there is more than one candidate from a kingdom, and none can bring together all of the votes for themselves in a ballot, the High King can
The High King's advisor has the build of a warrior. His eyes are like those of a bird. Even for a dwarf, High King Gundrabur is very old. His long white beard suggests 500. Vrakas, who made the dwarves of stone, has himself been hewn from stone by these self-same dwarves. The coal fire is lit when the kingdoms meet for council. It has lain dormant much too.
Ah,
The High King and his advisor don't know where I come from either. But they only want to use—
Whatever happens, we...
You're not sure whether the moral support of your friends will be much use in a contest with Gun.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost.
You are looking forward to the first You undress and lie down. Before you... When your new armor is brought to you the next morning, you can hardly believe your eyes. However, as a smith, you can't stand the fact that you haven't contributed anything to it, and
Even one who wears the armour of a prince can still be a farrier underneath it, don't you think, Tungdil Goldhand?
What are you doing in here?
ignoring your question, Bislipur eyes you very exactly before he speaks.
So, you want to be one of our... And I don't think it possible either. There is no proof of your origin, and Gandagar's the... Put your scheme to bed, and we will take you into our kingdom. We will give you everything...
Proof? Oh, you mean like your letter that has been found after 1,000...
It is no secret that the elves are deceitful. And what could possibly be more suited to get one of...
The elves have been displaced by the perished land and are now...
I said they are deceitful.
You have had enough of this dwarf. He makes...
Get out!
A humanized bastard will not issue me orders. Know your place, false dwarf.
Some of the gold has left a coin-sized mark on the back of your hand. It hurts. The armor has been made by a master. Over the chainmail is steel plate, alloyed with gold in many places, which certainly... You had just finished setting the last inlay, the seal of Lot Yonan, who brought you up and...
That is why I, too, lodge a claim to the throne and why I think I am the more capable heir.
Thank you for your speech, Tungdil Goldhand. The council may now ask questions.
Bislipper?
Nothing you say will convince anyone here. You didn't grow up amongst us, and no one knows if you really are a fourthling. I do not.
A new perspective is sure to be good for the dwarves.
Might be true.
We don't need to be told this by some...
We know ourselves what's best.
Fresh air, close.
There's no reason to change it.
Yes, the dwarf from the Secondling Kingdom over there.
You say that a war against the elves would be madness.
It is true. There is much that I only know from books. And don't the elves have the same enemy as we do? They could stand by us in battle.
That is...
He's right.
Words of a clever warrior.
But the pointy ears hate us, and we hate them too.
What is it they say again? My enemies...
Yes?
Just so I get this right, you want to forge a weapon that is described in a book...
I have most definitely seen it, Goimgar.
No one knows for certain whether it is the solution, but does...
that's true.
It'll work out some...
We should
I'm not con-
I have heard enough. The council has heard the words of both candidates and must now make its decision. Those of you who wish to see Tungdil Goldhand, the returning son from the Fourthling Kingdom, as my successor, raise your axe. And those who wish to see Gandagar Silverbeard from the Silverbeards, the king of the Fourthlings, as my successor. Gandagar has received more votes.
Very good. Ha ha!
Excellent.
Here's to Gandagar!
Long live our new High King!
However, the result was not unanimous, and as acting High King, I avail myself of my right to demand a contest between the aspirants.
What is this?
But he won the ballot.
It's the rules. The High King has the right to do so.
Respect! He is still the High King.
Silence!
You have heard the High King's command. Write down your challenge for the aspirants. Are you ready? The one that masters this task first will become the High King. It is an expedition. The trial is to lead a group to...
An expedition in...
You can't be...
That's what I call a worthy challenge, don't you think?
I call it luck, Scholar. Of all the challenges, Bislipper draws this one.
Yes. Luck.
But, my king, don't demand this of me.
You are one of my best gem cutters, and I promise to support him.
But...
You will go, Goimgar Shimmerbeard. Do not put us to shame.
And with that, I'll group...
Who have you chosen as...
Good day, gentlemen.
Bavragar? The old drunkard?
Old drunkard? He assured me he's the best...
Well, I said I was precisely...
You let yourself...
I don't want him with us.
Rest assured, Boindil, I too could imagine...
Yes, I gave you my word. And as long as you are capable of...
I wish you no ill fortune, Tungdil. But also, no good fortune. The throne...
The task is clear to the contenders? The first to forge Keenfire and bring it back here has proven his ability.
It will take months to complete the task. The journey...
Dangerous, yes, but not necessarily long. Do you...
Tunnels are all well and good, but why should we get there so...
A knowing smile plays on...
Pretty impressive what our forefathers achieved here, isn't it?
The kingdoms all work together. If we do the same, nothing is impossible.
Hear, hear.
I still don't understand why you tricked me.
I have been the master of stone for more than 200 sun cycles. My work is admired all over Girdlegard. But today, I don't want to be remembered as a drunkard with the chisel trembling in my hand, but...
I hope you understand.
There's nothing that will endanger our mission.
There's more behind it than commonplace hatred.
Bavrigor doesn't react. His gaze...
You really should rein in your drinking. We need...
There are some who say I'm only the master of beer and not the master of stone anymore. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I wonder why we haven't seen any sign of Gandagar recently. Perhaps they took a wrong turn.
We're not on the way to the Fifthling. We are on the way to the Firstlings. We're probably already under the land of the Custodian.
The Firstlings? Why?
The Firstlings have been the best smiths in Girdlegard since the Fifthlings were wiped out. Only they can alloy Tionium and Palladium, which are actually mutually repellent. Anyway, we could use all the help we can get in the battle against Nodon and...
Damn. Goimgar.
It burns!
We won't get further this way, scholar.
It's all your fault, you imp.
It is good that you are still alive.
So you can steal a throne that doesn't belong to you?
Hatred glints in the gem cutter's eyes.
I'm not interested in the title of High King. I am trying to save...
I don't have to believe anything. I am here against my will.
Enough! Gather up all the materials we can still save. If we manage to reach the Firstlings, we can get anything we're missing.
After you have gathered together the materials, you begin to search for a way out. And after a sweaty climb, you reach a door adorned with runes. From here, you walk through the waterfall one after another. And after the unintentional shower, you find yourselves on a plateau, and the river which falls as a waterfall here hides the entrance to the underground rail network.
That must be Mifidania. We'll go through the forest to the city and see if we can refresh our supplies and buy some ponies.
Boindil strikes up song during your hike. A short while later, Bavrigor joins in. But rather than actually singing along, you take the stonemason to one side and ask him if he's doing it on purpose.
Can't go on like this. We can't fight amongst ourselves and save Girdlegard.
You take a short break before you dare breach.
Not in the way you might think. Smeralda was my sister. The young thing, she was almost as belligerent as Boindle, and she got it.
You can see the pain he is suffering in his eyes. You place a hand on his shoulder. The constant bickering between Boindale and Bavragor distracts you. Goimgar hears the clanking of arms.